In this lesson, you're going to learn about points, lines, line segments, rays, and angles. Our first vocabulary word is what our world is completely made up of, which is a point, an exact location in space that has no length or width. Next is a line, which is a collection of endpoints going on and on and on in both directions infinitely. It has no endpoints and is represented with arrows on either end to show that it goes on and on. A line segment is a piece of the line. I picture taking a bite out of a Twizzler. That's a line segment. It has two endpoints and includes all of the points in between those endpoints. When you draw these lines, they are usually named by letters. So first we have a point. You would just draw a dot. Hopefully yours will look better than mine with a letter. You could also use the shapes and letters to make yours look a little better than mine. So everything is made up of points. Next we have a line, which is represented by a line with two arrows on the ends of it. It is named by letters, so you do put points on it, but not on the end of the shape, and you name it with two letters. A line segment is taking a piece of that line. It is represented with endpoints on the end and the same letters. It kind of looks like a barbell or weights. Our next vocabulary word is array. Array is also a part of a line, similar like a line segment, but it has one endpoint and goes on and on and on in the other direction. A real-life example would be a flashlight or our projector. When you combine rays, you make different angles. I know in third grade you learned a bit about the different types of angles. An angle is formed by two rays that have a shared endpoint, and they are found whenever lines and line segments intersect. The point where they intersect is called the vertex, which is also known as the shared endpoint of two rays in an angle. So a ray is represented by a line. It has one endpoint and one arrow at the end to show that it goes on and on and on. To name it, we would add an endpoint, but we would not put it at the end of our line, and we would name it with letters. When you combine two rays, you form an angle. They have a shared endpoint, which is called the vertex. I think about it as the elbow of angles. So in this angle, we have one ray, A, B, and we have another ray, because it has one endpoint and one side goes on and on and on. They share the point B, and I'm going to add endpoint C. So this is an example of an angle. There are three different types of angles that we're going to learn about next, and those are right angles, obtuse angles, and acute angles. The magic number that decides what kind of angle there is the number 90. A 90-degree angle is a right angle. It's a perfect corner. It's the ends of your paper. It's the corners of our bulletin boards. A right angle represents 90 degrees. An obtuse angle is larger than 90 degrees, but it's less than 180 degrees. 180 degrees is a straight line. So anywhere between 90 and 179 makes a obtuse angle. An acute angle is smaller and much cuter than a right angle or an obtuse angle. It is more than 0 degrees, but less than 90 degrees. And as we talked about, a right angle measures exactly 90 degrees. The tool that you use to measure angles is a protractor, and you'll learn more about that and use them in 5th grade. So for now, we just have to do our best guess. A right angle looks like an L and is shown to be a right angle by having a box in the corner. That box represents 90 degrees. And we remember an angle is two rays put together. If you have two rays that do not make a perfect corner, then you have an acute angle, which means that it is an angle that is less than 90 degrees. And if it is larger than a perfect corner, or a right angle that makes it obtuse, which is greater than 90 degrees. In our next lesson, we'll learn more about different types of lines, including parallel lines, perpendicular lines, and intersecting lines.